I became the only man in a house full of women, paid every bill they handed me while they labeled everything girls only, and still excluded my wife. When they booked a Hawaii trip with my money, I canceled it at the airport and watched their matching outfits melt down. Hey Reddit, my family treated me like an ATM they could boss around, exclude, and guilt trip whenever they felt like it. I finally snapped and cut them off, but oh boy, they did not take that well. Before it all blew up, here's what happened. I'm David, 28, married to Lucy, who honestly deserves hazard pay for dealing with my family. I always tell people I didn't grow up in a regular home. I grew up in a constant argument. Some kids have bedtime stories. My bedtime soundtrack was my parents yelling through the walls. My mom, Charlotte, had a talent for dramatic pauses, and my dad's specialty was slamming doors like he was in a competition. My dad passed away years ago after a long stretch of problems. It wasn't sudden, it was just draining. The house felt weird afterward, not quiet, just heavy. Charlotte didn't handle it well. She'd walk around sighing like she was the star of a tragic play. I remember one night she looked at me and said, "I don't know how I'm supposed to do this alone." So naturally, I got drafted as the replacement adult. Within a week, my Aunt Scarlett and her daughter Megan temporarily moved in. Scarlett said, "We'll just stay until things calm down a little." 13 years later, they're still there. Megan grew up into the human version of a nodding emoji. If Scarlett or Charlotte said the moon was square, Megan would just go, "Yeah, I guess." And then there's my sisters, the twins, Brittany and Tiffany. If you've ever wondered what would happen if a pair of makeup influencers came to life with echoing Valley Girl literally accents, that's them. They move in sync, talk in sync, complain in sync. They even breathe in sync sometimes, and it freaks Lucy out. First time Lucy met them, we were at dinner, and the twins were arguing over their shoes. "These are creamy beige," Brittany said, holding her foot up like she was modeling for a catalog. Tiffany gasped, "No, they're soft almond." Lucy leaned over and whispered, "Isn't that the same thing?" "Don't say that out loud," I whispered back. "They'll combust." The twins also have this tiny purse dog named Baby, who wears more outfits than I do. They treat that dog like royalty. Baby once sneezed, and Tiffany panicked so hard she yelled, "Oh my God, she's literally dying." Baby was not dying. Baby was bored. After Dad passed, I was basically shoved into the man of the house role. At first, it was chores and pressure. Fix the sink, handle the problems, be the emotional support animal. But once I was older, working and living with Lucy, it turned into bills. Fix the sink? Me? Pay half the household costs? Me? Install shelves because Scarlett wanted a cute reading corner? Me again. So yeah, I was paying for 2 households while only getting the privilege of living in one. Whenever I tried pulling back a little, Charlotte would hit me with lines like, "After everything I've done for you," and Scarlett would add, "Some of us don't have the luxury of ignoring family." Translation: keep paying. Lucy saw all this and handled it better than most would. She's steady, calm, not easily intimidated. But even she had moments of side-eye during visits. The amount of time the twins spent talking about themselves was unreal. Once, Brittany asked Lucy, "Do you think this angle makes my jawline pop?" Lucy blinked. "It's a picture of your elbow." "Yeah, but like, the vibe," Brittany said. And Lucy nodded because she didn't know what else to do. The girls' only outing started around 3 years ago. At first, I didn't mind. They'd go for ice cream or watch some movie together. Brittany acted like it was a groundbreaking cultural event. "It's like, so empowering," she told me once. They went to see a PG-13 rom-com. Very empowering. Lucy even got invited to some of the early stuff. One time they took her ice skating. When she came home, she tossed her gloves on the counter and said, "I spent 20 minutes watching Tiffany yell at her skates." "What did she say?" I asked. "She said they were personally attacking her toes." Sounds about right. They also did a pottery class. Lucy enjoyed it until Brittany screamed because her clay wasn't smooth enough and blamed the instructor for sabotaging her art career. But slowly, Lucy stopped getting invited. At first, she gave them the benefit of the doubt. "Maybe it was last minute," she said. The weird shift started pretty quietly. One Saturday morning, Lucy got a text from Brittany. "We're going ice skating again? Want to come?" Lucy looked at me and said, "Should I go?" I told her, "Yeah, it can't be worse than the last time." I was wrong. It was worse. When she came home that afternoon, she dropped her jacket on the chair and just stared at the wall for a second, like she needed to reboot her brain. "You okay?" I asked. "Tiffany asked the instructor if he could fix the ice because it was too slippery," she said. "It's ice." "Yeah," Lucy said. "Exactly." After that, the invites slowed down. One day, Lucy saw on Instagram that they had gone to a pottery workshop. Brittany had posted a selfie holding a lopsided pot with the caption, "Talent just comes naturally." Next slide. Tiffany's identical pot with the exact same caption. They even used the same emoji. Lucy scrolled through it and said, "Huh, I guess they didn't think of inviting me this time." I texted Charlotte asking, "Hey, what's with the pottery thing?" Lucy would have loved that. Charlotte replied with, "It was last minute. Don't start." Which, if you've ever dealt with my mom, is her signature way of saying, "Shut up." Lucy shrugged it off. "It's fine," she said. They wanted sister time. Except it wasn't sister time, because Scarlett and Megan were also there, matching aprons and all. Megan even posted a blurry picture of her clay bowl, captioned, "Fun day with the girls." Megan is basically an echo of whatever the group wants. Lucy looked at me and said, "Okay, maybe it's not fine, The next event was a mini road trip. I only found out because Tiffany kept posting short clips from the passenger seat, wind blowing her hair everywhere, her yelling, "Road trippy," in that pitch dogs can hear. The caption said, "We've been planning this all month," when the excuse they gave Lucy was, "Oh sorry, it literally just came up." Lucy wasn't mad at first, she was confused. "Did I do something weird?" she asked me while we were cooking dinner. Like, did I say something they didn't like? "No," I said. "Your only mistake was having a working brain." She laughed a little at that, but it didn't erase the look on her face. That kind of quiet disappointment hits harder than yelling. So I tried bringing it up again with Charlotte. I said, "Why isn't Lucy getting invited anymore? She didn't do anything wrong." Charlotte gave her classic long, dramatic sigh. "David, please don't be difficult. This isn't a big deal." "It kind of is," I said. "It's girls only," she shot back. "Lucy is a girl," I reminded her. Charlotte paused like this was brand new information. Then she said, "Well, she's not their kind of girl." "Right, because she wasn't obsessed with matching outfits or screaming about vibes." A week later, they went to a concert. Brittany texted in the family chat, "Ugh, traffic is so bad going to the concert," and then immediately deleted the message. Probably realized Lucy was in the chat. The twins aren't smart enough to hide their tracks. They just panic and hit delete like it solves everything. Lucy saw it anyway because she had notifications on. She just said, "Oh, okay then." And no crying, no yelling, just quiet acceptance. Honestly, that stung way more. When the next event came around, a backyard cookout, they didn't even pretend to hide it. Brittany posted a picture of Baby the dog sitting at the picnic table wearing sunglasses. The caption said, "Girls' Day Cookout. No boys allowed," which was extra funny considering their definition of no boys apparently included Lucy now. Lucy and I were sitting on our couch watching a movie when she saw the post. She locked her phone and said, "Well, guess that answers that." "Want me to say something?" I asked. She shook her head. They know exactly what they're doing. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. It wasn't just the lack of invitations. It was the tone they used whenever Lucy was brought up. Brittany acted like Lucy was outdated software. Tiffany acted like Lucy was too serious because she didn't want 10 pictures taken of her eating a hot dog. Scarlett once said, "Lucy is sweet, but she's not bubbly. The twins need bubbly." Yeah, because that's what family relationships should be built on. Carbonated personalities. The more they excluded her, the more obvious it became that this wasn't about girl time. This was about control, clicks, and whatever imaginary hierarchy the twins used to measure self-worth. The breaking point, before things went nuclear, was when Lucy tried reaching out to Megan. She messaged her something simple like, "Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's good." Megan read it instantly and didn't reply. An hour later, Megan posted a picture with the twins captioned, "Couldn't ask for better company." Lucy looked at me and said with a tired smile, "I give up." There was no dramatic moment, no screaming, no fight. Lucy just quietly stepped back from them because they made it extremely clear she wasn't welcome. And watching her deal with that did something to me. It pulled a tension wire tight in a way that didn't snap yet, but you could hear it stretching. This wasn't just girls-only outings anymore. This was a pattern, and patterns eventually lead somewhere, usually downhill. Charlotte's birthday has always been a big deal in my family. Not surprise party with balloons and a catered dinner big, but more like everyone drops what they're doing and shows up. Even when things were rough, even when my parents were fighting over who forgot to buy milk, we still did the birthday dinner. Same restaurant every year, same booth if we were lucky. A tiny bit of consistency in a house that had none. So this year, Lucy and I did the normal thing. We bought gifts, cards, wrapped everything nicely. Lucy even picked out this really thoughtful scarf for Charlotte. Soft fabric, her favorite color, something she knew Charlotte would actually wear. I wrote a whole message in the card because I'm apparently still that son who tries. A week before her birthday, I texted Charlotte, "Hey, what time is dinner next weekend?" She replied, "Dinner? We already celebrated. I had my birthday with the girls on Saturday." I stared at my phone so long Lucy thought it froze. "What happened?" she asked. "They already celebrated," I said. "Already?" She looked genuinely confused. "Did we miss something?" "Apparently we missed everything," I said. Lucy set the scarf down and kind of blinked at it like it had betrayed her. "Wait, are you serious?" I texted back. "When were you going to tell us?" Charlotte sent one of her classic lines. "David, please don't make this dramatic. It was just easier this way." Easier for who? Certainly not for the people who rearranged their schedules for a dinner that never existed. I said, "So what do we do with the gifts?" She responded, "You can drop them off later." Right, drop them off, like we were UPS. Lucy sighed, sat back on the couch, and said quietly, "Wow, okay." It wasn't even anger, just this soft disappointment that hits way harder. She had put real thought into that gift. It wasn't some last-minute Amazon purchase like the twins usually did. Speaking of the twins, Brittany and Tiffany were already posting their birthday pictures online. Matching dresses, matching smiles, matching captions. One of them wrote, "Celebrating the Queen. Best girls' day ever." They even had a pink cake with Charlotte's name on it. A fully decorated cake, with sparklers. Lucy tilted her head. "So they planned this in advance." "Oh yeah," I said. "Definitely last minute. Just like they always say." A few hours later, Brittany texted the family group chat, the one we were still in back then. "Yesterday was literally so perfect." Lucy nudged me and whispered, "Bet they practiced that caption." I texted Brittany privately, "Why didn't you guys tell us about the dinner?" She replied 3 minutes later. We didn't think you'd care. Also, Lucy gets bored at restaurants, lol. Lucy saw that over my shoulder. I get bored? She repeated. I've literally sat through Tiffany explaining eyelash glue for 40 minutes. I laughed because that was true. Tiffany once gave a TED talk about fake lashes at the dinner table. I almost fell asleep face first into my mashed potatoes. I called Charlotte because texting wasn't cutting it. When she answered, she did the annoyed sigh thing immediately. David, what now? I said. It's weird that we weren't invited. We go every year. She said, this wasn't family dinner. This was a girls' outing. Lucy is a girl, I pointed out. That's different, she snapped back. How is that different? I asked. Charlotte hesitated, then said, she's not part of that circle. Circle, I repeated. Are we in high school now? Before she could answer, I heard Tiffany's voice in the background. Mom, tell him he's literally making this weird. Then Brittany chimed in. It wasn't that deep. Yeah, not deep, just hurtful. Lucy touched my arm and mouthed, it's okay, but it wasn't. Not anymore. Charlotte said, you can come by and give me the gifts later. I'm busy right now. Busy? With the twins hovering around her like they're her personal cheer squad. When the call ended, Lucy just sat there quietly for a moment. Then she said, I really thought, birthdays were for everyone. They used to be, I said, back when people actually gave a crap. We still decided to drop off the gifts because we didn't want to stoop to their level. Lucy even insisted on coming with me. I'm not hiding, she said. I didn't do anything wrong. When we arrived, Charlotte opened the door but didn't invite us in. She stood there with that look, annoyed, impatient, like we were door-to-door salespeople interrupting her afternoon. Here, I said, handing her the gift bags. She took them without saying thank you. Lucy said, I hope you like the scarf. Charlotte's answer, uh-huh. Then Brittany and Tiffany appeared behind her in matching oversized sweaters, sipping iced coffees and glaring at us like we had shown up uninvited to a royal banquet. Brittany whispered, loudly, awkward. Tiffany whispered back, even louder, why are they making this a thing? Lucy clenched her jaw but stayed polite. Happy birthday, she said. Charlotte just nodded and closed the door. Not even a full goodbye. Just door in our faces. Back in the car, Lucy buckled her seatbelt and stared ahead. I'm done trying, she said. Not angry, just tired. That's when it hit me. Everything was sliding into a direction I hadn't seen before. Not just exclusion, not just rudeness. Something more deliberate. Something that felt like they wanted Lucy and me on the outside. And something in me shifted too. A quiet, steady line got drawn. I didn't say anything dramatic out loud. I just started paying closer attention. And it didn't take long to see where it was headed next. If Charlotte's birthday was the moment the red flags started multiplying, the Hawaii trip was the moment those flags unionized and formed a marching band. So here's the setup. Every single year since I was a kid, our family did one big vacation together. Sometimes it was a beach rental, sometimes a cabin, sometimes a place with more bugs than walls, but still, it was family vacation. Even when my dad was around and my parents were basically reenacting their own private war, we still went. This year, no one said a thing. No dates, no hints, no planning. Nothing. The group chat was quieter than Megan in a room full of opinions. Then, one random morning, Lucy walked into the living room holding her phone like it was radioactive. David, she said, voice flat. You're gonna want to see this. I took her phone. Brittany was at the airport in a neon pink Hawaiian shirt over her bikini top, hair curled like she was auditioning for a shampoo commercial. Tiffany was behind her making duck lips with a lei around her neck. Baby the dog was wearing sunglasses. The caption, Hawaii, here we come. Girls only. I blinked hard. Lucy said, Are they going to Hawaii? Oh, they're going, I said. Question is, how did they pay for it? Because Brittany had tagged the airline, and for half a second, a little record locator code flashed on screen when she panned past her boarding pass. I typed the code into the airline's manage booking page with my last name, and it pulled right up. Lucy leaned in. No way. The contact name and email were mine. The billing info was mine. Every receipt had my card on it. Traveler names, Charlotte, Brittany, Tiffany, Scarlett, Megan, and baby listed as a service animal, which baby absolutely is not. Lucy covered her mouth. They used your name and money without telling you. Without telling me, I said, and with the confidence of people who have never faced consequences. I clicked through the confirmations. Hotel booked with my card. Car rental with my card. Some random luau package with my card. It looked like I was the proud planner of a luxury vacation for 6 grown women and a purse dog. Lucy whispered, They basically robbed you, with enthusiasm. Another story popped up. Tiffany screamed into the camera, We're literally going to get tan and drink out of pineapples! Brittany leaned in and yelled, Can't wait to relax without drama! Girls only! Lucy stared. Relax without drama, she repeated, while committing credit card fraud. Something in my soul clicked into place. Not rage, not sadness, just clarity. Lucy asked, What are you thinking? That they're about to experience the consequences of thinking my wallet is community property, I said. We waited until the boarding line started moving, not because I'm a monster, but because timing matters. Then I opened the airline app. I hit cancel trip. The app threw up a warning about fees and refund rules. I confirmed anyway. The booking flipped to canceled on my screen. Next, I canceled what I could on the hotel and car reservations. Anything that wouldn't let me cancel, I removed my card from and called to flag as unauthorized. If they wanted a girls-only trip, they could fund it girls-only style. 10 minutes later, my phone started vibrating like it was trying to escape the apartment. Charlotte. David, fix this. Now. Brittany. Mom is crying. What did you do? Tiffany. They won't let us board. They said it's canceled. Scarlett. David, this is childish and cruel. How dare you humiliate us? Megan. They said we need to go to the counter. What do I say? Lucy read over my shoulder. Should we feel bad? Nope, I said. Not even a little. Brittany sent a voice message. I played it on speaker. David, why would you do this? You're literally ruining our vibes. They made us step out of line in front of everyone. Baby is traumatized. In the background, Baby barked once, like even she was judging them. Lucy sat back on the couch and whispered, "This is the funniest thing I've ever witnessed." Then Charlotte texted, "We will talk. Expect me soon." Lucy raised her eyebrows. "She's coming here, isn't she?" "Oh yeah," I said. "And she's bringing a storm." I knew Charlotte was coming before she even pulled into the parking lot, because she called me 3 times in a row without leaving a voicemail. That's her signature move. The I'm too angry to speak, but also too angry not to call combo. Lucy peeked through the blinds and said, "Red SUV, she's here." "Wonderful," I said. "Let me go prepare my spirit." Charlotte didn't even make it up the stairs quietly. She stomped like she was trying to shake the entire building. Then came the banging. Bang, bang, bang. "David, open this door right now!" Lucy took a deep breath. "Be calm. Don't let her bait you." "Oh, trust me," I said. "I'm fresh out of bait." I opened the door a crack. "Hi." Charlotte shoved right past me like she was a cop executing a warrant. "Don't hi me," she snapped. She walked straight into the apartment, scanning everything like she was evaluating her disappointment. Lucy stood there, arms crossed. "Please don't touch anything." Charlotte whipped around. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I raise a disrespectful son and daughter-in-law?" "Yes," I said. "You did." Lucy hid a smile behind her hand. Charlotte ignored us and went straight for the entry table, where she grabbed my mail and tossed it on the floor like she was demonstrating her emotional state through interpretive littering. "You embarrassed your entire family today," she shouted. I shrugged. "Well, they embarrassed my credit card first, so I guess we're even." She gasped like I'd committed a federal offense. "You canceled our trip." "No," I said calmly. "I canceled the trip booked under my account and paid for with my card." "You could have talked to us," she said dramatically. "Oh yeah," I said. "Because you all communicate so well." Charlotte marched into the living room, knocking over the small ceramic bowl on the table. It rolled across the floor, clinking like it was trying to escape the drama. Lucy stepped between her and the rest of the apartment. "Charlotte, you can't just walk around causing a mess. This is our home." "Oh, I'm sorry," Charlotte snapped. "I didn't realize respect only applies one direction in this marriage." I raised a hand. "Actually, the lack of respect is kind of the point." Then my phone buzzed again. "Brittany, please tell Mom to come back to the airport. They said we can maybe fix it if the card owner comes." "Not happening," I muttered, turning off notifications. That's when Charlotte hit her go-to guilt trip voice. Soft, wounded, dramatic. "We are your family, David. You don't turn your back on family." "Yeah," I said. "Yet here we are." "You ruined everything," she said. "Funny," I said. "That's exactly how I describe you using my identity to book a luxury vacation." Lucy added, "Also, you excluded us and pretended it was normal." Charlotte waved her off. "This isn't about you, Lucy." "Everything is about Lucy," I corrected. "She's my wife." Charlotte scoffed like that was optional. Then, while she was mid-rant, I picked up my phone and started ripping through every provider account tied to my email. Lucy raised an eyebrow. "Are you doing what I think you're doing?" "Oh yes," I said. "Today is the day." "What are you doing?" Charlotte demanded. "Cutting the cord," I said. She blinked. "What cord?" "The money cord," I said. "The bills cord. The David pays for everything while getting treated like a doormat cord." Charlotte frowned. "You wouldn't." I tapped the confirmation button. "Wi-Fi account? Cancelled. Electricity account in my name? Terminated. Phone plan I paid for? Removed them. Streaming services? Logged out everywhere and cancelled. Auto pay for groceries? Gone. Random subscription Brittany had signed up for with my card? Deleted so fast my thumb got whiplash. Then I switched credit cards entirely and froze the one they had memorized. Lucy said, "You're changing your card info too?" "Absolutely," I said. "This is a full cleanse." Charlotte's jaw dropped. "You are sabotaging your own family." "I'm setting boundaries," I corrected. "You should try it sometime." "What are we supposed to do without the bills paid?" she demanded. "Pay them yourselves," I said. "Crazy concept, I know." She looked physically offended. "You can't just abandon us." "I didn't abandon anyone," I said. "I stopped sponsoring a group who treats my wife like an outsider and treats me like an ATM with legs." Lucy's eyes widened slightly. She wasn't expecting that line, but she looked proud in that quiet, supportive way she does. Charlotte pointed at Lucy. "This is her fault? She's turning you against us." "No," I said. "You did that on your own." She just witnessed it. Charlotte finally stepped back toward the door, furious and shaking her head. "If this is how you want to be, then fine. Just remember who raised you." "Trust me," I said. "I couldn't forget even if I tried." Lucy exhaled hard the moment the door closed behind her. "Are you okay?" she asked. I nodded. "Yeah, actually, yeah." She smiled a little. "You finally did it." "Yep," I said. "I unsubscribed from my family." She laughed, leaned her head on my shoulder and said, "Honestly, good. But the chaos wasn't done. Not even close. Charlotte and the twins weren't the type to go quietly. They regrouped. They plotted. They came back swinging. After Charlotte's dramatic exit from our apartment, Lucy and I had about 24 hours of silence, which in my family is basically a solar eclipse. Rare, eerie, and a sign that something unsettling is about to happen. Around noon the next day, my phone buzzed with a text from Scarlett. "Family meeting. Tonight. 7. Mandatory. Mandatory." Like we were employees at some dysfunctional company. Lucy glanced at the message and said, "Sounds fun. I'm expecting snacks at least," I replied. We showed up to Charlotte's house at 7 sharp. I was already preparing myself mentally, and Lucy whispered, "No sarcasm unless necessary." "With this group," I said, "it'll be necessary." When Charlotte opened the door, she had that tight-lipped expression she saves for when she wants to look composed, but is seconds from exploding. She motioned us inside without speaking, which was a first. Usually she greets me with a lecture. The living room was a scene. Brittany and Tiffany sitting on the couch in matching sweatsuits, arms folded, glaring like I had ruined their birthday Christmas, and senior prom all at once. Scarlett sat on the recliner like she was presiding over a trial. Megan sat next to her, nodding at nothing, staring at us like she had been instructed to. As soon as we sat, Charlotte launched in. "You two owe this family an apology." Lucy and I exchanged a look, that subtle married people telepathy, where both parties say, "What the hell?" without moving their lips. "For what exactly?" I asked. Scarlett huffed. "Don't play dumb." Brittany sniffled dramatically. "We literally almost missed our vacation because of you." Tiffany chimed in. "We were humiliated at the airport? Humiliated." Lucy raised an eyebrow. "You mean the vacation you booked with David's name and money without telling him?" Tiffany blinked. "You're being so dramatic right now." "Dramatic?" Lucy repeated. "You committed fraud." Scarlett waved a hand. "Let's not exaggerate." "I'm not exaggerating," Lucy said. "You stole his identity to book a trip?" Megan nodded along like a bobblehead toy and whispered, "Yeah, but it was for a good reason." Lucy turned to her. "A good reason?" Megan shrunk back. "I don't know, I'm just saying what they said." "Exactly." Charlotte took a deep breath, trying to steer the conversation back to whatever point she thought she had. "This isn't about the trip anymore. This is about the post." I frowned. "What post?" Scarlett sighed dramatically. "Don't act clueless." "The post about us online." "Ah, the Reddit thread, the one they somehow found, because they can't mind their own business even on the internet. I'd posted a shorter version earlier from a throwaway. This is the full update." Charlotte continued, "You made us look like monsters." "Well," I said, "I didn't name anyone." "You didn't have to," Tiffany snapped. "Anyone who knows us knows it was us." Lucy crossed her arms. "So you're mad he told the truth?" Scarlett glared. "He told his version of the truth." David's dry humor kicked in before I could stop it. "Sorry, let me go back and rewrite the part where you used my credit card without permission." Charlotte ignored the jab. "You painted us as selfish and exclusive." "Because you are," I said. "You literally said we exclude you," Brittany added, offended. "You do," I said. "We don't," Tiffany cried. Lucy held up a finger. "Okay, quick check. How many times have you invited me in the last 3 months?" Tiffany bit her lip. "Well, like, you wouldn't have liked the stuff we did." "What did you do?" Lucy asked. "Pottery, concerts, cookouts, road trips." Lucy shook her head. "All things I do like." Brittany huffed. "But like, not with us." "Exactly," Lucy said. That shut them up for a second. Just a second. Charlotte pointed at me again. "You need to apologize for embarrassing us." "No," I said simply. Scarlett gasped like I slapped her with a Bible. "Excuse me?" "No," I repeated. "I'm not apologizing because I didn't lie." Charlotte slammed her hand on the coffee table. "Then this family is done with you," Lucy whispered under her breath. "Finally." I held her hand and stood. "If that's how you feel, then okay. We're done." Brittany let out a gasp like she was auditioning for a soap commercial. "He doesn't even care." I shrugged. "Not anymore." We left. Lucy didn't speak until we got in the car. "Well," she said, "that went about how I expected." "Honestly," I said, "I thought there'd be more screaming." "I'd same," she said, kind of disappointed. We laughed the whole drive home. But the next morning, that's when things got peak ridiculous. I opened our apartment door to head to work, and there it was. A bright orange piece of paper taped to the door. Eviction notice. Lucy came over, stared at it, and muttered, "No, absolutely not. They did not just do this." I peeled it off. The grammar was, well, very Charlotte-coded. Words spelled wrong. Legal terms missing. It literally said, "eviction for being disrespect." Lucy crossed her arms. They didn't even try. I called our landlord. "Hey, am I being evicted?" I asked casually. She laughed. "What? No. Who told you that?" "No one," I said. "Just confirming." It was fake, obviously. Lucy shook her head. "Next, they'll send a fake subpoena written in glitter pen." I tucked the paper into a drawer. Not to keep, just to document. Lucy put a hand on my back. "We're done with them, David." "Yeah," I said. "We really are." The first 48 hours after the fake eviction notice were honestly the quietest moments Lucy and I had experienced since the whole mess began. Not peaceful quiet, though. The kind of quiet where you know a storm might be coming, but also maybe the storm forgot your address. Then Charlotte texted, "The electricity is off. Fix it." I read it out loud to Lucy while she buttered toast. She nodded calmly. "Yeah, That'll happen when the person you treated like the utilities department quits. I replied with, not my house anymore. 30 seconds later, a paragraph arrived. Charlotte had typed so quickly, her message looked like alphabet soup. You've abandoned us. We can't live like this. I put my phone down and took a bite of my breakfast. First peaceful meal I'd had in weeks. Next came Scarlett. The Wi-Fi stopped working. Megan can't do her schoolwork. Lucy leaned over my shoulder. Isn't Megan 22? Yes, I said. But apparently she still has homework assigned by the twins' TikTok feed. Scarlett followed up with, you need to reconnect the service. We rely on it. I responded with, so reconnect it. There was a long pause, the kind of pause where you can practically hear a guilt tripper rebooting. Then, wow, after everything we've done for you. Lucy laughed so hard she almost choked on her toast. Within 2 hours, Brittany and Tiffany joined the group meltdown. Brittany, our phones won't work, OMG? Tiffany, it says we're not on Dadvid's plan anymore. What did you do? Dadvid, Lucy whispered. New name unlocked. I replied, correct. You're no longer on my phone plan. Brittany instantly sent 3 voice messages. I played one. David did I can't call anyone. This is literally illegal. You can't just cancel phones, we need our phone ease. In the background, Tiffany yelled, how am I supposed to post anything? Lucy leaned back on the couch. I hate them, but this is better than TV. By lunchtime, chaos had evolved. Charlotte texted, we can't unlock the thermostat, it's asking for a code, give it. Ah yes, I said. The thermostat I bought and installed and connected to my email. Lucy sipped her coffee. You should make them guess the code. Let them treat it like an escape room. I almost did. But the code wasn't a code. It was my login, because I was the account owner. Charlotte. It's cold in here. Wear a sweater. Brittany. I can see my breath. Lucy. Good. Maybe they'll freeze into silence. Not likely. By evening, Scarlett tried a different tactic. The classic guilt trip revival. Your father would be ashamed. Ah yes. The ultimate card. The one she loved to pull whenever logic failed. I wrote back, my father would be ashamed you committed fraud for a vacation. She didn't reply after that. Later that night, Lucy and I sat on the couch, scrolling through streaming services we didn't have to share anymore. I felt lighter, like someone finally removed a 100-pound backpack from my shoulders. Lucy nudged me. You okay? Yeah, I said. Yeah, for the first time in forever. She wrapped her arm around me and rested her head on my shoulder. You did the right thing. I know, I said. I just didn't expect it to feel this peaceful. But the world wasn't done with us yet. Around 10 p.m., there was a knock at our door. Not a banging knock, more like a timid little tap. Lucy whispered, if it's Charlotte, we pretend we died. I opened the door a crack. It was Megan, holding a dying houseplant like a peace offering. Hi, she said. I didn't know where else to go. Lucy and I exchanged a glance. Megan stepped inside awkwardly. So, everything's kind of falling apart over there. Yeah, I said. We heard. She held the plant closer. They're freaking out because none of us know how to set up the utilities, or the Wi-Fi, or the phone plans, or the thermostat, or anything really. Lucy raised an eyebrow. They never learned? No, Megan said. They said that was your job. I snorted. Of course they did. Megan hesitated. I'm not here to fight. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for the stuff I didn't speak up about. Lucy softened a little. She motioned for Megan to sit. Megan placed the plant on our coffee table. Also, this plant is dying. I didn't know what else to bring. I poked the soil. It's mostly dust, Megan. Yeah, she said. Like our house right now. Lucy bit her lip, trying not to laugh. Megan looked at us, eyes wide and anxious. So, are you guys really done? Like, done? Yes, I said. We are. Megan nodded slowly. I figured. Charlotte is losing it. Shocking, Lucy said. She keeps saying you'll come crawling back, Megan mumbled. But I don't think you will. Lucy squeezed my hand. No, we won't. Megan got up. Okay, I should go back before they realize I left. She stopped at the door. For what it's worth, I think you two are the only sane people in the family. Then she left, and that was that. The days after were blissfully quiet. Just peace. Lucy and I went out more. Ate dinner without interruptions. Slept without worrying someone would call at 3 a.m. We even started planning a trip of our own. One we would pay for, choose, and enjoy without matching outfits or screaming twins. One night, as we sat on the couch watching a movie, Lucy said, you know, your family might never talk to us again. I shrugged. Good, she smiled. Yeah, good. And that's how it ended. Beautiful, quiet, clean distance. Turns out sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is cut the cord, especially when the cord is powering everyone else's chaos but your own. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.